Hi, hey, how's it going? It's Emily, and today we're going to start a final vlog for the month of October. And I just had an annoying thing where I was trying to start this vlog with better audio, but I apparently need another piece of equipment in order to connect this mic that's supposed to go with this camera to actually make sure that it works with this camera. Anyway, I'm a little annoyed, but it's fine. I at least found it half price on eBay. So that is on its way, or will be on its way to me. So hopefully, maybe the next vlog we can start with better audio. But anyway, neither here nor there. Let's go ahead and figure out, let's just shuffle these real quick and figure out what we're going to read first in this vlog once I finish The Raven Scholar. Oh, pumpkin spice and everything nice. Okay, actually, honestly, after Alchemized and just some intense reads, honestly, a light, fluffy romance is, I think, the vibe and the move. This wasn't on the official October TBR, so I am a little worried about being able to actually get the ones that are on the list, but this one will go quickly too. It's a YA romance, so it's going to go by really quickly. Anyway, I'll hold it up in the next clip, but I just wanted to make sure I knew what I would actually be reading next so I could go ahead and get that started once I finish Raven Scholar. So I spun for this one and then promptly read most of it without checking in. So sorry about that. But anyway, I wasn't able to check in yesterday. I should have brought my camera to this event that we went to at Strathmore House. It was a vibey gothic Halloween event, and I should have brought my camera, but I totally forgot. And we also went to a winery yesterday, and I should have brought my camera there too. Whatever. Anyway, I didn't document it all yesterday or check in, which is when I read a solid chunk of this. And so, anyway, here we are. So this one follows Lucy, and it's a YA one, so the audiobook is literally 7 hours. Like, it's gone by so quickly. And it's just super quick, nothing in depth, you know, not taking itself too seriously, just a nice, fun YA fall vibes romance. Cute. Anyway, Lucy lives in Glen Falls, quintessential New England, Stars Hollow type town with good vibes. She's loved growing up there in the community around her. Her mom owns the coffee shop Cup of Joe, and she helps her mom out there. She will work there after school or on weekends and, you know, help her mom out. She really would love to take over at some point, or, you know, help her mom run the shop and then, you know, keep it in the family kind of deal. She really would love that and loves serving coffee to this community. And then a new guy starts at school. This is Jack. And she finds out that there's a Java Junction opening up right across the street from her parents, from her mom's store, from Cup of Joe. And Java Junction is a franchise of a large, you know, it's a large coffee chain. So this is a franchise of a larger chain. So kind of a Starbucks type situation coming in right across from the local coffee shop. And so she's pissed. She doesn't want this. And turns out that Jack's parents are the ones that are working to open this Java Junction. And, you know, she kind of starts seeing them everywhere. Normally her mom's coffee shop is the one that helps sponsor, you know, the fall festival. And now Java Junction is. And oh my goodness, it's starting to be everywhere. And so she wants to help her mom's coffee shop kind of get that edge back. And so she is working to, you know, do what she can to help her mom. We go through a fall festival. The fall festival is super fun. She loves to bake. She also freshly bakes a lot of the stuff that her mom sells in the store, the treats and baked goods. And so she really loves to bake and help her mom out that way. And so, you know, when does she do her homework? I don't know. I didn't have time to do anything in high school. I wouldn't have had time to do anything like this. But, you know, anyway, whatever. And so she's doing what she can to help her mom. And at one point, you know, enters this baking contest and goes through the fall festival and Jack ends up wanting a baking lesson and is willing to kind of give some pointers on social media in exchange to kind of help their coffee shop social media, or give some ideas for how she can help her mom's social media account for the coffee shop. Anyway, so, she and Jack start to work together a little bit, even though they're rivals, and it's just cute. It's just cute, fun, simple YA fall vibes. The fall vibes have definitely been fun. This is perfect for what I thought it would be. She definitely, our main character is definitely very I can't do a pumpkin spice latte because it's just so boring, and our coffee shop doesn't serve it because we don't serve fake stuff. And she's very much like that and drives that point home a lot. But so it's that kind of vibe sometimes, but it's cute, it's fun. I've been having a good time. I again do not have very much at all to go, so I'll be finishing this up very quickly. And then I need to figure out what to do next. So I could spin, but I'm realizing that if I give myself a pass on The Keeper of Night and say that the Forest of Souls series will instead count for my finishing a series prompt, if I allow that, I then have 2 books left on the TBR Grand Prix TBR. And so I think that I should just abandon the spinner wheel for the moment and just straight up read these 2. I knew this might happen. I warned this might happen. I was afraid this might happen, but I think I need to do that. So I think what I'm going to read next is This Monster of Mine. And then I think I'll go into Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, and then hope that I still have time to read a bit more before the month is out. So there's still a lot I would love to read, and some things that have come into my TBR as well. I did get the 3rd book in Hannah Witton's series, The Nightshade God. I did get that, and still, I don't know, there's still so much that was on the original list of things I wanted to read. But there were a couple of chunkers in here too. Like Alchemist took a while. The Raven Scholar took a good minute as well. So there were a couple of huge chunkers that I knew would take more time than I thought they would. So I'm not surprised, but I'm just going to jump right into these 2 once I finish this one, and we'll see how much I can read. This is my race to read as much as I can before the end of the month. And I'll probably just continue reading some of my October books into November as well, because, if they go into November, that's fine. As long as I still get my fill of spooky season books, totally fine with that. And then there's a whole set for November that I have that I'd like to read as well. But so many that are going to be left over from October, which is unfortunate. But, it is what it is. I've had a really great reading month, so no complaints. But I will check in once I have started and have some thoughts on this one, and wrap up this one in that next clip as well. So I am done with Pumpkin Spice and Everything Nice. Cute, fun, not much more to say about that one really. And I have read a solid chunk of This Monster of Mine, and having a grand time with this one. The setting and the vibes have been fun. The plot and mystery have been super interesting and engaging for me. This one follows Sarai, and 4 years before the story takes place, this is the prologue, she is pushed from a tower and someone has tried to kill her. So fast forward 4 years, she has been able to heal, and she is looking for vengeance, and she goes to, her intention is to save up and be able to study to become a what is it called? Petitor. And she wants to become a petitor, which is basically an assistant to a tetrarch who is kind of a judge. And the petitor's duty is to help them determine whether or not people are telling the truth. in different cases. And she is originally trying to save up money to be able to go to school. And so she ultimately finds out that there's kind of in a situation with the predators. So a lot of them have been potentially unaliving themselves. Maybe they've been dying in mysterious ways. And so tetrarchs are actually having a really hard time finding new people to be in this position. And have a group of people who, or basically the legal system is in short supply of people who have this ability. And so they are now actually accepting untrained apprentices and, basically going to train them on the job kind of situation. And so she was originally saving up for school, but when she finds that out, she uses what money she has to actually get to actually where she was before. I think was she training to become a healer? And she was at school there and then was basically pushed from the tower. And so she's going back to where she was to be a predator to this tetrarch, Kadra. And the author in her author letter for the Fairy Loot edition mentioned that she was going for Ben Barnes kind of vibe for this tetrarch who played the Darkling in Shadow and Bone. And so that's basically who I'm picturing at this point as that character. Anyway, and so she becomes this guy's assistant, basically, and is helping him work through cases, but she suspects that he might actually be involved in her potential murder. Just she remembers a voice from that night, but she doesn't really remember much about that night, but she remembers a voice and she thinks it could be his voice. And so she is working with him to solve cases, but also trying to figure out what's going on and figure out whether or not he was involved in her attempted murder. And she also is starting to realize that that could be connected to the other deaths of different predators. And so, it's kind of wrapped up in this larger mystery of what's happening to them. And she's starting to uncover, or has been uncovering clues about what's going on and trying to figure out who she can trust and, what's going on, because she needs to figure out who she can trust. She can't really do this on her own. She doesn't really have enough power. So she needs to figure out who in power she can trust to help her figure this out and figure out whether or not she can trust the person that she's working for and whether he's involved or whether it's other people involved, and she needs to figure out how to take them down in order to get vengeance for her attempted murder. Anyway, it's just been super interesting. I'm really just liking the vibes and the world, and sometimes these characters can be frustrating, but it's I think understandable. Anyway, I'm having a good time. So I'm going to finish this last little bit probably today and then pick up Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. This week is not going as planned. I'm actually going back home tomorrow to say goodbye to our family dog. So this week is going to suck, but we'll get through. Yeah, just not going as planned. It's going to be a long and awful week. Like, I'm devastated. This dog is like the sweetest dog you could ever want to have in your life. And yeah, his body is just shutting down. So anyway, so I'm going to be going home tomorrow and be home for a few days and then kind of regroup from there. But I will be picking up Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil and figuring out if I want to take anything else with me. I don't know what else. Anyway, we'll figure it out as I pack and try to figure out my life today and get ready. But anyway, yeah, that's the update for now. So if there's a change in location coming up, I'm going to try to remember to bring my camera and actually give some reading updates, but it's going to be a weird few days. Anyway, But that's what's up. Anyway, I will see you later. So I did get a few clips of going to some bookstores while I was back in Dallas. I'll overlay them as I'm talking about them, but I did remember watching Emmy's vlog when she visited a friend in Dallas and they went to a romance bookstore, Blush bookstore, and I wanted to check it out while I was home anyway. And so I did get a clip of going to see that bookstore, and there are a couple others that are right in that area that I decided to just check out. I did get BK Borison's newest release, the Christmas romance, at Blush bookstore, and then I also did get the 5th book in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series and the book after Immortal Dark. I think it's called Eternal Ruin. I did get that one as well at another bookstore. So anyway, those are the only clips I got. I didn't actually talk about anything I was reading. Par for the course, I guess. Anyway, so I did finish Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil and absolutely loved this one. So here we follow essentially multiple generations of vampires and them being turned into vampires and figuring out how to live, what that means for them, figuring out relationships, figuring out, again, just how to live. And, some of them not really having people to, at first, to really teach them what to do or what it means to be a vampire. And so, we follow some people learning about that, and we're again following multiple generations. So we follow one woman back in the 1500s? Yeah, the 1500s, and she is about to be married to someone, not a love match by any means, but just something that's going to help her position in society. And we follow her not so great marriage. We follow her trying to get out of that. And you're really just feeling everything that this character is feeling. At least I was. All of the anger, all of the frustration at what she had to go through just because she's a woman. So we're following another character, Alice, in 2019, who's going to school in Boston, going to college in Boston, figuring things out, and is turned and is trying to figure out and confront who did that to her. And then we kind of also get the story of a kind of connecting thread between these characters. So these stories are interconnected, and we can kind of see how this progressed over time. And I think it was told in a really effective way. I really enjoyed all of the timelines and just the characters in their element, in their timelines, and how things changed for them, what their life was like, and then what it's like now, or how it changed after they were turned. I love the writing. V. Schwab is just such a great writer. And I don't know, I was compelled by the characters. I was compelled by the story. It's definitely not, a fast-moving plot story. It's about these characters and their relationships with, whether it's each other, other people. And I loved it. I then turned to The Possession of Alba Diaz, which I also really enjoyed. This is by Isabel Cañas. And I've enjoyed her other 2 books as well, so I was very excited to pick this up. And we are, of course, following Alba Diaz, and we're also following, is it Elias? And so he is kind of summoned by his now dead father, or he finds out that his father died, when he gets there, but he was summoned by his father and essentially has to take over his father's debts and is trying to work something out with this mine to be able to help recover or help cover the debts that he's now inherited. And we also follow Alba's family, and these 2 families are kind of intertwined, and she gets possessed buy something in this mine. And anyway, it was just the perfect read for Halloween. Just nice and historical, spooky, atmospheric, just classic Isabel Cañas. And I had a lot of fun with this one. This one, I don't know. This one was great. Just the characters, the tension, and of course it's her, there is a romantic element here. Just her classic ability to draw out that tension, get that yearning going, and layer that on top of a atmospheric story about something else going on. And so that's definitely what she does here. And I don't know, I had a lot of fun with this one. This was the perfect Halloween vibe for sure. And so I then started Bride, but I'm going to talk about that in my next vlog. So we're just going to go ahead and wrap this one up here. This vlog did not go to plan, but that's okay. And yeah, we'll just call it good for now, and I'll just start over for some November vlogs. It's already a few days into November. I still need to film my TBR video and kind of get things going for November. So that's what we're going to do. But thank you so much for watching. And yeah, the October reading, or the fall vibe reading, will continue in November because there are so many books I wanted to read in October that I didn't get to. But I don't want it to be another year before I get to these books. So I'm just going to keep going in November to read some of those books, those October books that I wanted to get to. So, the vibes will continue in the next vlog. So be sure to subscribe to see some future reading vlogs and continue that journey of just nice atmospheric fall reads. And I'll also leave my Instagram link down below, as well as more information about how you can support the Black Lives Matter movement. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.